Years ago, I'm sure everyone can remember. Well, firstly, thank you, Sherry, for having me here, and thank you, Dr. Mark, for another wonderful presentation. I learn something every time. It's great. Well, 3.5 years ago, the planet was in fear. The vibration was all about ill health and fear, and we're all connected to each other, and I'm aware of that. And so I was looking for something to boost my immune system, and I was following a social media influencer who brought a seer to me. And I'd done network marketing twice before, and I swore I would never do it again. I wasn't hugely successful, just part time. Well, no, I did it full time actually, but I didn't get great success with it. And I would oppose anybody. If somebody came to give me an opportunity, I'd say, is it network marketing? And if they'd say yes, I'd say, I don't want to know. I wouldn't look at the opportunity, nothing. But a seer got through that filter that I had, because it was supposed to. And I only know that now, of course. But so I started taking the product, and Catherine, the influencers upline, contacted me. I said, "Look, I'm not interested in sharing it. I don't want anything to do with the business, but I'd like to try the product." And the first thing that I noticed was a massive increase in my energy. Now, I thought I was pretty healthy, although I was taking blood pressure tablets, but I was generally healthy. I didn't. Some people that you'll hear testimonials of, as Sherry said, close to death. They have massive transformations. Whereas for me, it wasn't like that. But my energy level went up so much that it influenced me. It made me stop in my tracks. And I like to work out a little bit, and my recovery time was clearly better than it was before. And then over time, I thought, you know what, I don't know how long it was, maybe 6 months later, I thought I'll come off the blood pressure medication and see what that's like. And my blood pressure's normalized without the medication, which is just incredible for me. Now, when I was 16, I fell out of a tree playing with my friends, and I fell out of a tree, and the doctor said, as you get older, you'll have back pains. Predictive programming, really, but anyway, it came true, and I did have lots of back pains, and it became just normal for me that I'd have to wait a while to stretch and to get my back without the pain. It was just something that I dealt with because it'd been there for so long. Well, all of a sudden, I woke up one day and realized I don't have that back pain anymore. So it's absolutely quite remarkable.
So how
Now,
long after, I know you're going to get asked this because I've already been asked something in the chat about back issues. So how long did it take before you noticed
it
that
was
your back
probably
getting
about
worse?
9 or 10 months, I would imagine. It was getting on for a year before I noticed that. But there was another thing. I lived in Southeast Asia for 30 years before coming back to England, and I developed really bad psoriasis, really, really bad. I was be in tears sometimes. Now, I got that down to a very controlled amount. I changed my diet, I changed my habits to do it because it was so severe. But I would get these flare-ups occasionally, and they kept coming even in England, my first year back in England. Not anywhere near as severe as before, but they've gone as well. I don't even get a flare. Even get a little scratch. It's just quite remarkable. And I do attest that to ASEA because of the test. At the same time, so this was all happening in a year's period, and I wasn't sharing it. And at the same time, I was on a Telegram group. Telegram is another WhatsApp type of thing. I was on a Telegram group full of ASEA testimonials, and it was mind blowing to me. All of these different people with different issues and problems that were coming back to balance. As Dr. Mark said at the beginning, any health challenge is probably because we're out of balance somewhere. And so people were coming back into balance and getting their health back. So it excited me so much that after a year, I decided to share it now. And I've only been doing it part time, and I keep threatening to do it more. But I'm at that point now in my life where I want to share it more. I've learned a lot of information about it, but I've had such a wonderful experience, and I'll never stop taking it. It's changed my life. It's transformed me, even though I wasn't on death's door, as I said, but it's really transformed me. And My mum's in a care home. She has vascular dementia and Alzheimer's. And 3 weeks ago, she had to go to hospital with a severe water infection. And one of the doctors told me she's not coming out, it's the last few days. So I was devastated. And then I got told actually she is coming out and she's okay. But so she's back out, she's back in the care home. But she was very, very weak, and she would just sleep in the chair. She wouldn't walk around like she used to, and she was delirious, which is probably because of the virus. So I just upped her because I go every day and see her, and I give her a seer. I used to have to force it down to her because she didn't like it, and I would give it in the 2 ounce cups. But I changed the protocol, and then I now put about 6 ounces in a glass, and she just drinks it. She follows me. I don't know exactly, but it's about what I think is about 6 ounces. Well, her health has improved dramatically in just 1 week to 10 days. I mean, dramatically. She's up
Now, this is
walking
a
about.
woman that when he went to the hospital,
Yeah,
without him having a clue that they were going to say something so shocking,
that's
they
right.
said, your mom's not going to come home. She has a few days to live.
That's what they said. And they said that her arteries are so inflamed that she's not getting enough blood to the kidneys and she won't make this. And
From an
anyway,
infection.
she's wonderful. I mean, she's still got Alzheimer's, but I said to her, um, because she was asking if we were going to go on holiday, and I said, well, we were going to go 3 weeks ago, Mum, but you had to go to us to hospital. And she said, well, someone could have told me. she she didn't realize she'd been in hospital, bless her. But she's still talking and chatting to people and laughing again, and she looks lovely. She's got a color back in her face, and I attribute it to Asia. I absolutely do, because her her state when she came out of the hospital to now, which is only 2 weeks later, is remarkable. It's miraculous, absolutely. So yeah, I really, really, really recommend it if you're here looking at it for the first time. It's the most transformational product, really, really.
Well, I
Thank you.
I just so enjoyed. I giggled about his mom saying, "Well, someone could have told me I was in the hospital." She had
She's
no
completely
memory of it.
forgotten. No, she hasn't. Bless her.
But anyway, the other thing that I love, though, that he said to me earlier was that you're, can I tell him how old you are?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So he's 61
62,
and
62.
62.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but you said you really missed having being passionate about something.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I feel like that passion's here now, and it gives me an opportunity to dive into something and have a purpose, as well as, I'm a life coach and a spiritual coach. And the reason I'm that is because of a massive lack of self-worth in my younger days. And so doing something like this where I get to achieve and expand and become better, both in my physical self, and as well as my financial self, and of course by helping people. It's just so exciting to me, and especially with the way the world is at the moment, we're in dire straits with our health. We're in dire straits. The public is so unaware of the ill health. Dr. Mark was talking about it with the toxins that are just naturally around us all the time, that we ingest, that having to subject ourselves to all the time. And we need something like this. And when it first started, the first 18 months, I honestly thought, this must be a placebo. I wonder if this is a conspiracy that's been set up to see if people will take it on, and if it's a real placebo, because I couldn't, even with all the science, I just couldn't get it into myself that this was such a real thing. But of course, with time, and I've seen results with my mum, who is she was opposed to it. She said, "Oh, people rip you off all the time. You're so gullible." That's what she said to me when she first started taking Asia. and yet here she is with a wonderful experience. And so it's not a placebo because she has no idea other than me saying it, and yet she's getting better. But I had that thought that, is this just a big divine conspiracy, or not even a divine one, a conspiracy to tell people something's good, and people get better? But so many people are getting better that, I mean, so many stories, especially of the successful people, associates in ASEA, that didn't believe in it. Somebody, their parents or their friend got them, and they didn't believe it would help, and yet it did, and it transformed their life. And so it's
I
phenomenal. And
think
to
that's
be,
about just about all of us.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think we all came into it because nobody knows what it is. So we
yeah,
all had that, oh yeah, right. And the fear of being sold and taken down the path of
yeah,
ripped off,
that's right.
And then when somebody has a miracle, especially like your mother, who doesn't even know she was in the hospital,
Yeah,
like that's not placebo because she can't even remember or think it to
that's right.
create it. It's
Yeah,
literally her body
is
repairing
responding.
itself just like it was designed to do. And
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
so what a wonderful story. Thanks so much. I was so
Yeah.
excited when he said yes, that he would come and share. He comes on here a lot, but this is the first time I've had him share. So